Hello everyone and welcome back to the WM32Football podcast. Happy Valentines Day to all of you football lovers out there, both male and female. Today, me and Connor, we're going to be going through our football first and our football loves, with it being Valentine's Day as well and whatnot. So Connor, talk to me first. I'm going to go with the first pair of football boots that you had.
Oh. Do you remember, because I always used to, proper boots, like we're saying, studs, blades, yeah?
Well that would help, yeah, because they're classed as boots.
Yeah, well, some PE teachers used to go, you wearing boots when I was wearing trainers, it used to annoy me. Do you remember 06, the burgundy and silver mercurials?
Yes. Oh, what a pair of boots.
They were my first ones that I loved was Adidas. I can't even remember what they were now. They were Preds. I can't remember what. The blue with the red on top, 2010.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
there we go. Got it in the end.
Got there in the end.
Got there in the end, mate.
I think for me, well, the first pair of boots I had was a pair of Adidas ones. I've still got them somewhere, and I used to have my boots pinned up around my bedroom, and whatnot. But it's almost, like the way Adidas have re-released some old school Preds. It was like that kind of vibe. So my first ones were metal studs, blue and white with a bit of black. Oh, black, blue and white.
Yeah.
And I think the first sort of pair of boots that I genuinely just loved playing in, that's going to be a tough one because there's been so many and I've worn so many sort of different types of boots. But ones recently, I'd have to say CTRs. I'd have to say CTRs from Nike. Magistas as well. I used to love the Magistas until Nike stopped them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I still got the yellow pair.
Yeah.
The World Cup.
Yeah. Those boots were just so comfy to play in, and whatnot. Football shirts.
Football shirts. First one that I remember wearing, because my dad put me on baby grows, like Arsenal baby grows, like your dad probably put you in Tottenham baby grows in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Didn't have a choice, did we?
Definitely didn't.
First Arsenal shirt I remember having was a Emmanuel Petit
Okay.
home shirt. The first shirt I remember living and breathing in and dying in was this is my favourite Arsenal shirt of all time. I wish they remade it. They've done a version of the 1920 shirt in this colour. It's the burgundy 06 Leaving Highbury shirt, but Henri's one.
Okay.
Like that shirt and a collar. It was like, even the 02 was in gold. It was beautiful. Simply beautiful.
The first one that I had was a Hewitt and Packard sponsored one, and we were sponsored by Pony, which was quite ironic because I think at the time we were Pony. So yeah, it had my name, Wesley, and then massive number one. Definitely didn't fit. Yeah.
I remember some of my dad would buy me the Dreamcast shirts.
Yeah.
I still have them and just put me in them. And you see photos of me in a top that covers about 3 of me because I was tiny.
I think the first shirt that I sort of remember, and this is going to be quite strange because I used to get the goalie kits as well, and it was a black Adidas Tottenham one with it, but it had 2 sort of orange.
Yeah, I remember it.
Bits going either side with. I think we were sponsored by Holston as well at the time. Yeah, that one was a good one. Again, in terms of shirts the first one that I really liked from Tottenham. I mean, the Kappa kits were quite smart when we had Kappa, but skin tight fit. So for some people, it wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
It exposed a lot of different things for people. I really liked our last season that we had with Puma and the 3 kits that we had then. So we had an all plain white kit, and it was just so nice. Then we had a mauve away kit, which was again lovely. But then we had, I think this was probably the first black playing kit really that we had, because we had like black goalkeeper kits, but we never really had a black playing kit. But it had a white strip and yellow, like two sort of, I wouldn't say stripes, but lines towards the top end of the shirt, and it was just a really good. They were just really nice kits.
See, that's the thing. Puma can have really good kits, and then others are just horrendous. I remember the black and pink one at Arsenal being lush, and then the next year it was just like no good kit at all.
Yeah, I think, like you say, I think Puma were inconsistent with ours really, because, yeah, like you say, we'd have really nice kits, and then some you go, oh, what is that?
Yeah, what's that about?
You got to roll with it because it's your team and it's your club, but yeah, sometimes you just got to go with like. Footballing first hero.
First hero. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Summary. There was just, I remember, because my dad's hero's Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I'm too young for Ian Wright. Still love him. But I remember sitting down, like when my dad would go to games when I was too young and couldn't go to games, like he would take me to home games but never take me to away games. And seeing Henri just rip up another club and just sitting there just going, yes, he plays for my team. I remember walking into school and like people would be arguing like, oh, drop it this, drop it that. I'd be like, Henri. So that's mine. I remember like so many great memories from Henri, from running the length of the pitch against Spurs to scoring that outrageous goal against Barthez, scoring the goal in the Bernabeu to win us the game. Some sad moments like him. I was asked this question the other day. You can pick one of three options: Wenger leave in 2011, Arsenal go on to win the Premier League when we were top after beating Leicester, or Henri scoring the 1-on-1 against Barcelona in the Champions League final, which would have put us, I think, 2-0 up at the time. And I was like, every single day of the week, that Henri goal. Because he still speaks about it now, and it still hurts him that he didn't win it with Arsenal. So that was a sad moment, but a man I'd always love.
It's alright though, because he won it a year later with Barcelona.
But he still speaks about like when he goes there and he saw like the picture on the wall and went, yeah, that was Arsenal's year. That was Arsenal's trophy that they should have won. But due to a poor refereeing decision.
I mean, you still went one up. You just got to sometimes see games out when you've got 10 men.
Yeah, but when you have Almunia in goal, it's a bit harder.
My first footballing hero, David Ginola. And yes, he was worth it. Entrance fee alone, because the other 10 were horrendously bad at the time. Just left foot, right foot could go either way, and you just look at like, how have we got this guy? Because like I say, the other 10 were that bad. You're just going, how? Well, we're just going, how have we got this guy? Like, he should not be at our football club. He's too good for us. And then when he left, it was like, I'm glad he left when he did, because if he'd have left now with the way social media is, like Tottenham fans were having a meltdown as it was, so it would have just like intensified and multiplied on social media for sure. Because we were literally going, he is our only, not the best player, our only player, and the man in the long trench coat, as Spurs fans called him, sold him, and we were there like, what? And then I think moving forward from there, it was probably Sheringham. Loved the way that Teddy used to play. He was fantastic for us. So clever, and he would find spaces that just made him very hard to pick up, and could spot a pass. He'd be a perfect like number 10 now in today's game. He'd be perfect. And then probably my idol and my hero, my all-time sort of hero growing is Aaron Lennon. Because I just wanted to be him. I played on the wing at the time, so I had to have my hair like him. I had to get his boots. I had to dribble the way he dribbled. People used to like, and even some people still they call me Aaron Lennon, because it was.
Your Snapchat is still Lennon.
Yeah, so if there's only one way you could edit those names that you made when you
when you were like 14.
Yeah. But no, it was Aaron Lennon for me was the one. Yeah, 100% Aaron Lennon. But yeah, the first one for me was Ginola, really, because I'd never seen anybody do certain things that he'd done on the football at that specific time. And like I say, we were awful. We were so bad at that time, Tottenham. So he was the only player that you'd go into watch, other than the other 11 for the opposition team, because you know, half the time you go in like, I'm seeing Man United today, or I'm seeing I'm seeing David Ginola today, like, and whatnot. Favourite player currently, or a player that you love?
I'm gonna get slewed.
Currently,
I'm gonna get slewed. So I've followed this player since he broke out at Schalke in 07. He was the reason I stopped playing up front and started playing in midfield, and it's Mesut Ozil. Like, I've loved this man since he broke onto the scene. Like, you know, I've had a love for foreign football.
yeah.
Like, I'll watch Brazilian football, Spanish, Italian, whatever it is.
Yeah, some say you'd have a problem, but
Some say I do, but like, I remember like sitting there doing a report on German football at the time, and like with my dad, because my dad wanted me to learn a bit more about football, and he was like, "What's certain other football teams other than Arsenal?" Because we were starting to be rubbish. So then I remember watching a Schalke game and Mesut broke on the scene, and I was there like, oh my god, like everything he did on the ball was classy, and like even still now he does classy things like that no one seems to see, and I'm there going, this man's amazing. He was the reason I stopped playing up front and like stopped just hovering around the 6-yard box and started actually playing passes to people. He was just, what he did was amazing. Then obviously the World Cup, where he ripped England apart at such a young age, then going to Madrid. He was supposed to come to Arsenal that summer as well, and then actually coming to Arsenal. You should have seen my Facebook. We weren't friends on Facebook at the time, I don't think, but you should have seen my Facebook. For about 6 months, it was Mesut Ozil every day. So yeah, Mesut's the guy for me.
I don't think there's any surprises with mine. Moussa Dembele.
Yeah.
He's greatest, one of the greatest players I think I've ever witnessed playing football. He's ridiculous. He is so strong, yet has feet like ballerina. Like a ballerina. It's ridiculous. Like no one seems to know how to explain Moussa Dembele other than he's unreal. He's a joke. Like every single player at Tottenham, when asked who would you have in your team on a five-a-side, the first player when he was there was Moussa Dembele. And it was, when we signed him, I was a bit like, okay, didn't know obviously too much about him or anything like that. Didn't really know many Fulham fans either at the time. And then we turned him from like a number 10 into sort of a central midfield player, and
a world beater as well.
I mean, it popped up on my timeline about the Juventus game in the Champions League, and he's just absolutely broke Sami Khedira's ankles. It was ridiculous. And I think every Spurs fan is gutted that we didn't win something with him in the team. And every Spurs fan will still say he's probably the most underrated footballer that they've ever seen at Tottenham. He's just so good. But then I suppose, so that's from my particular team anyway, but I think Lionel Messi is just, having seen him live last season, he's just different. He's on a different wave.
I remember watching him at the Emirates, walking around people like Scalacci, making it look easy. He was a world-class defender. I remember watching him score 4 against Almunia, chipping the ball over Almunia. Almunia dives out the way and he's still standing exactly still, able to dab it. Guy's a magician.
So yeah, Messi. And then I've had a love for this guy as well since 2013 when I watched him in the Euros under-21 tournament, and he ripped it up, and that is Isco. Oh my, the amount of people I've shown this. Was a specific video on YouTube against Russia's under-21s, and he just runs the show. But that Spain team had Iliamendi, who off the back of that got a £30 million move to Real Madrid. It had Thiago, it had Rodrigo, it had Isco, it had Deulofeu, who seems to be in the under-21 system every tournament somehow. I think it had Mark Bartra, I think De Gea might have played in that one as well. But that Spain team was just ridiculous, and Isco was just on another level, and I'm just there like, who is this guy? And I remember showing people at college about him, because I think it was around the time he was linked with Tottenham. So I was like, okay, let me find out about this guy. They were like, yeah. I was showing people video clips of him at college at the time, and they were like, yeah, but he's only doing it at under 21 level. I said, right, okay. Showed him stuff when he was at Malaga, and they were like, wow, who is this guy? Like, who is this guy? Like, because he was doing it in La Liga, but he was doing it against your Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your Atletico Madrid, the bigger teams in Spain. I still get excited because every transfer window, Tottenham get linked with Isco, and I'm there like, please, this window, please sign him. So yeah, those for me. But I think currently one of my favourites is from a Tottenham perspective. I know he's not with us anymore, but in recent times was the goat Moussa Dembele, and then I don't think you can look past Messi, and then Isco as well for me.
I remember when I was at college. And Luke, one of our mates, Luke, showed me Isco all the time, and I was like, mate, this guy's a magician. And our sports teacher said, he's a shark. And we were like, what? He was like, he can sniff out a nutmeg from miles away.
Yeah.
It's outrageous, this guy.
Literally. Other than the libraries, because you got two of them, Highbury and the Emirates.
Get in the bin.
Favourite grounds that you've been to?
Favourite grounds I've been to?
And a ground that you love?
Ground that I love that I haven't been to, I hate to say it because I have a new hatred for Liverpool, thanks to the club, and a winter break that we didn't need, and disrespecting the FA Cup, which you didn't have to do, is Anfield. I'd love to go to Anfield on a European night, like if Arsenal ever get back to European nights on a Wednesday, because I remember when Arsenal went there for the Champions League and Theo Walcott ran the length for the pitch, Captain Costa Adebayor to score, and I remember like watching that game like on TV and hearing "You'll Never Walk Alone" for the first proper time on a European night, and I was like, oh my god. Then I remember watching the Barcelona game like last year, and I was like, oh my god. So that's one stadium I'd love to go to one day. I've been to Etihad back in 06, pretty dead even then.
So we're City at that point, at that time, so that's probably why didn't have much to shout about.
Stamford Bridge weren't great. I liked White Hart Lane, but that was because it was Derby Day, and we normally would win.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Old Trafford. Parc des Princes was nice, full of 87 minutes. Yeah, there's a few up there, but I'd have to say I did like Upton Park.
Okay.
I think it was because it was a very Highbury-esque, sort of like closed in, tight, and especially like you saw the last season at Upton Park as well, the bowling ground. Like when the whole place was rocking, it was rocking.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think you guys have both got similarities in that your stadium's quiet unless you're singing about Tottenham.
It's not exactly
as
true.
well. So I think for me, barring White Hart Lane and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, there's something about Turf Moor that just gets to me.
Is that because you're a Burnley boy?
It's probably to do with the fact that I spent 2 years at university there and everything else, but there's just, I think Burnley as a place has just got something to me. It's just got a special place in my heart, I think, and I've just got so many sort of fond memories, and I think the ground itself is proper old school. You know, you literally walk down the street and all of a sudden the floodlights are there, and it just appears on your left hand side pretty much, or your right hand side depending on which way you walk from, but generally it's the left, and whatnot. Tight little away end as well, and yeah, it's just I've had a couple of really good away days there.
Yeah.
So it's been really good, that one. I'd love to say the Wanda Metropolitano, but for obvious reasons I might not like that one. But I think that particular one, I think that particular ground though disappointed me a little bit because it's a fairly new stadium, but there was like nothing there really. I mean, outside you're looking and you're going, wow, what a place this is, and then you sort of go in and I think I don't know if it's a cultural thing within Spain, but you go into stadiums in England and they've got like pictures on walls or photos from past players or past programs from past games, things like that. Whereas the Wonder, it was just like
plain.
Yeah, very plain. It was like almost the breeze block type or the type of thing on
Well, that's
there.
the thing. I know a lot of Spanish clubs, like especially now older stadiums, have a lot of stuff. So it might have been like, it might have. You never know, because it's a Champions League final. And neither of those clubs could they have had a lot of stuff like.
Yeah, and they could have had some UEFA based stuff in there, but it was just a bit bare. But I mean, my view was fantastic. You could see that you get a really good view.
Yeah.
Though from wherever you are sat in the stadium, I think but Turf Moor, for me, I've been to quite a few different grounds, and that one's just a little something.
I'm surprised you didn't say Newcastle.
I've not been to St James's. It's a ground that I am trying to go to.
I've been to Newcastle a fair few times for football and nights out, and literally you can go anywhere in Newcastle, and like everyone says it's a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the football. They've got a Nando's there, which is 3 floors. I'm sitting on the top floor of a Nando's, 2 tables over. Someone's speaking about football.
Yeah.
Because that is the heartbeat of their place. It's lovely.
And I've been told as well from the away end you get a lovely view of the city.
Yeah.
Of Newcastle as well. So that's a ground that I would genuinely love to go to and have wanted to go to. I've been to the Etihad a couple of times. 3 in total. One time on Remembrance Sunday, started the Poznan in the away end when Stephen Colker scored, and then obviously last season the 2 games in 4 days, and I don't think that Champions League game is ever going to be topped in terms of emotion and everything else, because went through every fan in that stadium or that was connected to Tottenham and Man City that night went through every single emotion in 90 minutes of football.
Yeah.
And I was still getting people coming up to me afterwards and in the days after going like, what a game. Like they didn't even support City or Spurs. They were just like, they support other teams.
I'd say that was the single best game of last year's Champions League.
It just had everything. It had literally everything. I mean,
the final
nobody.
was dead, but the final was a bit dead.
Wait till you get there.
We've been there. We should have won it.
But it was just one of those where you go, like I say, it had everything. It had everything. The Premier League game, no Spurs fan was really bothered.
No one cared.
Yeah, no one really cared because it was like, well, we won in midweek, so yeah, that was it.
Yeah, you won a Premier League. We're on the way to a Champions League final, son.
Yeah.
That's what you lot were feeling.
Yeah. So it was one of those. I went to Fulham last year, last minute winner. I think there's something about a last minute winner you just can't beat it. I think one of the worst away ends that I've been to is Molineux, and I know 2 people that are going to be very, very happy with this, but Molineux is horrendous for an away end. You're to the side, lower tier, on a curve as well, so it's very, very hard to generate any sort of atmosphere or anything like that. But the thing is, you're seen on, if the game's on TV by television cameras, you're seen. So they go, oh yeah, like so packed out away and everything like that. But you can't hear because you're just that far away that the television, they can't pick it up. So yeah, it's just awful. You get the home fans above you giving you grief and everything like that. It's just awful, Molineux. But I know Wolves fans that love it and they like hook it into my veins, hook it. But yeah, no, Molineux is definitely the worst that I've done. And I've been to some lower league grounds where you've either had to properly stand, not even the choice of a seat, or you've had wooden seats, and stuff like that. But Molineux is definitely
talking about away stadiums, Goodison ain't great.
I didn't mind Goodison. I think it's probably because we won 6-2.
Yeah,
but,
probably.
But I didn't mind Goodison. Again, a bit of an old school ground in the sense that, again, you sort of walk down and it's just there and you're like, oh, right, brilliant. So I do like a bit of a traditional ground. That being said, I don't mind going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and everything like that, because that is a thing of beauty and whatnot. Right, favourite goal?
Favourite goal, what, for the club that I support or ever?
I'll give you the choice of both.
Choice of both.
I've got a feeling I know what one might be.
It's hard though for club wise. There's a few up there for non-club wise, like non-Arsenal. You've got Trips' free kick in the World Cup, because that was a high moment I don't think I'll ever get again in an England shirt.
Everyone's life peaked at that moment.
Just downhill from there.
Football's coming home at that moment.
Mate, I ended up getting sent home from work that day because I was like, I want to watch a game. I hadn't missed a game of the World Cup, and they're like, yeah, go. And I ran into Spoons, and I just stood there in Spoons, full work clothes, standing there. Trips scored the free kick. I hugged some random Donny next to me. It was beautiful. Messi's goal against Madrid semi-final sticks up there.
Yeah.
Where he runs from the halfway line, beats about 4 players, slots it in right foot. I'm going to go back to Messi again. Messi's goal against, I think it's Elche, where he copies Maradona's run against England.
Yes.
You might remember it. Remember the old Wolves free kick technique where 2 people would stand in front of the wall, one would flick it up, one would volley it over?
Yeah.
That's sick, I remember that. Big Phil Jagielka scoring that absolute worldie against Liverpool is up there.
Yes, I remember that one very well. I remember a certain Everton fan that I know going absolutely mental in my university's SU bar at that point, and he's just got it was
Scenes.
limbs. It was single person, but limbs. It was ridiculous.
It was a finish though.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick for both. I'm gonna go for club. I'm probably gonna go on against Spurs, running from his own box, running length of the pitch.
Yeah.
I remember one person trying to tell me it wasn't that good a goal because he just runs a bit. I was like, he's run the length of the pitch, fended off 3 players, put it on his left foot, put it bottom corner.
Still wishing Matty Everington had chopped him on the halfway line. By the way, still to this day, I see that goal and I'm like, just bring him down.
Foul
just
him.
bring him.
Foul him.
Just bring him down. Just take one for the team. Just bring him down.
I'm going to go for a goal that I don't remember seeing live because I was really young or too young for it. I can't remember what World Cup it was in. Bergkamp's goal against Argentina for Holland.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, from the pass to the touch to the putting it in, and it gives me goosebumps watching that goal. So I'm going to go with that one.
From a non-Tottenham perspective, I think one of my favourite goals ever is Bergkamp's against Newcastle. The touch, the way he just moves Nikos Davies, he's literally spinning Davies' ass around like a Beyblade or something, and just slots it in. And I'm just there going, how has he done that?
I remember trying to recreate that goal.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I think people have tried to recreate it so many times, but it's just, I mean, I'm one myself, and it's just so difficult.
I remember playing Monday Night Football, and they're still trying to get 8 weeks to stand behind me so I can try it.
Yeah.
Or every time I just flick it off my heel to someone else because I'm like, has it come at the right angle? I'll do it later.
Or it'll just go the same way that you, instead of going the ball going one way and you going the other.
It comes with you.
Yeah. So that one for me is, from a non-Tottenham perspective, is just up there with one of my favourite goals ever. I think Llorente's against no. In all seriousness, I think Van der Vaart's all of his against Arsenal were pretty decent. Still love you, Rafa. Still miss you. And putting Wilshere in his place was quite good as well.
I think we put Wilshere in his place.
I think Danny Rose's goal is up there because of the nature of the game. The fact it was his Premier League debut, he was 19 years of age, and just to do that. But if I was to break that finish down, there is so much wrong with it. Yeah, technique is all over the place.
Absolutely spanks it.
He's leaning back, so you're thinking this is Rose every time, and somehow it just lashes into the court, and you're just there like, oh my goodness, what a goal, what a goal. I've seen Bale hit some worldies. Goal against West Brom. Which again popped up on my timelines recently, and I'm just there like, oh my god. I've 2 free kicks against Lyon in the Europa League.
Goal against West Ham, 90th minute, sir.
Goal against West Ham. That one is just outrageous. But that was Bale's time, and you just knew that we were. I didn't want to say it at the time to people, but I can say it now because he's at Real Madrid won everything 600 grand a week, but we were a one-man team at the time. But those 2 free kicks against Lyon as well, because, and that is the same game that Umtiti has launched one into the top corner. So I saw 3 worldy goals in that game, because the 2 free kicks, both times the keepers tried to second guess Bale and has just got caught out, but they were like, you just get going, no chance of saving them. But Umtiti's goal, I was at the other end of the ground at White Hart Lane, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm there like literally my jaw was just dropped. I'm just there like, what have I just seen?
Centre back.
He was a centre back playing left back,
Yeah.
and has just done that. Like, what? And obviously that particular goal gets reeled out, and rightly so. But yeah, the 2 Bale free kicks often get left out from that game, and they were equally as good at goals.
I remember watching that game, like, just before his second free kick, I think, because I was like out doing football or whatever, and I got back for that free kick, and I was like, oh, that's a bit rude.
Yeah, he was like world class that particular season, and nobody was touching him like at all.
Yeah, no one was.
But yeah, those goals for me are sort of standing out at the minute. Favourite, I'm gonna give you 2 here. Favourite games, again, club related and non club related.
Club related. The last game at Highbury. For the emotion. It was the first time I saw my dad cry, so it's a sad moment, but also a beautiful moment, because I remember 2-2 at half time, when they're like, this is the last game, someone's got to do something. Henry pops up with a hat trick. Lehman was doing his usual whatever he did, but it was just, the moment was just sensational. I remember there's one thing that always sticks out in my memory is Henry and Ashley Cole sitting on the so we had like, I can't even remember what it was. There was like a stand in the middle of the ground where they did like certain awards and stuff like that, and all the players got up there, and all the ex-players, and Henry and Ashley Cole just sitting there, just going, "We're leaving now. That's it." Even like, I choked up there just thinking about it. Yeah, that game will always stick out in my memory as my favourite Arsenal game. Some people go, oh yeah, but what about when we won an FA Cup or won the league or this or that or beat Spurs? And I'm like, yeah, but that moment there means more than any other game.
Yeah.
Non-football, non-Arsenal. As you know, I'm not a massive England fan, so the World Cup was good. Almost. Do you remember the El Clasico when Mourinho got sent off for poking him in the eye? I can't remember who he poked in the eye.
Well, Mourinho's probably been sent off in quite a few different Clásicos. So
no, because he poked the opposition manager in the eye.
Was that Villanova or Guardiola?
No, it wasn't Guardiola. I think it might have been Villanova. They poked him in the eye in the Clasico, and I think about 4 people got sent off that game. It was just a madness. So that game sticks out. Actually, one game, Argentina Brazil at the Emirates.
Okay.
Where Kaká glides past, like, we saw him do it at a six-a-side in London the other day. By the way, who in their right mind is that guy screaming for Kaká to pull it back? He's on a World Cup, a Champions League, and a Ballon d'Or. He's on, Kaká, pull it back, and pings it top bins. Outrageous. He literally glides past people in this game. I remember there's one video of like Messi trying to keep up with him, and this is a young Messi as well. And he's just fended off Messi like he's not even there, just gliding through people. It was outrageous. So yeah, Brazil, Argentina at the Emirates.
I think club related, very, very tough. I'm gonna have to mention that North London derby at Wembley, because that performance from Tottenham was unbelievable. The atmosphere in the ground was unbelievable that day, and everything like that. That sticks up there, because I just think we absolutely, like, we fully dominated you in like every single department, and that was one of the only times as well that we've really sort of turned up in a big game.
Yeah.
Especially under the gaffer. So Pochettino. So yeah, that was one that stands out. Obviously, City away Champions League stands out 100%. Like I said earlier, the the level of emotion that everybody experienced that night was just on another level. I wasn't there, but obviously Ajax away last season, that's just like unbelievable, unbelievable. The fact that we were dead and buried at half time, and just to come out and just do what we did was ridiculous. As well was crazy. I might even have to mention away at Stamford Bridge, the only time I've ever seen Tottenham win at Stamford Bridge. Again, I wasn't at the game, but I don't think I'd ever step foot in Stamford Bridge. But yeah, it was just, I've never seen us win at Stamford Bridge. It was always a game that I write off, and to see us win, I was like, oh, what is going on? What is going on? But again, I don't think the performance was that great. It was more the result and the feeling afterwards. Whereas, the Arsenal, the Derby day at Wembley, the 1-0, that was just everything. The City game, again, a bit of everything, and Ajax was just pure emotion. That last kick of the game to just score, and you're going to a Champions League final is just crazy. It's just crazy. So those ones are definitely up there. There's probably more as well, but not off the. Our first sort of Champions League campaign, some of the games that we had there, the Inter Milan one at home, because I know a lot of fans go on about Bale's performance in the San Siro, but we still actually lost that game. But the one at home, that one was just crazy.
The end of the man's career, that night.
Yeah, and I think as well, one game that's literally just come to me now was the Cup semi-final against Arsenal, the 5-1. And I'll always remember that day because for some bizarre reason, I was ill, so I didn't go to school that day. And the game was on, and me, my dad, and some family friends that we know. So it was over 2 legs. So the first leg we went to their house, their Arsenal. So we went to their house. They moved their front room about. So we had one sofa. They had the other sofa. They had a few scarves out and everything like that. So it was like, okay. And like I say, for the second leg, I was off school, and I was like, right, well, what are we gonna? And I just sort of came to me like, well, what are we gonna do for the game? And it just came to me. I was like, right. I said to my mum, Mum, got to get every bit of Tottenham bit that memorabilia that we've got, and we're gonna kit the front room out in it. So I made some signs for the stands. So we had Park Lane, which was sort of the back end of the front room, shelf side, which was this side, and then the away end was sort of over there, and then the Paxton was where the TV was. So I literally thought of everything. Gave the Arsenal fans that were coming around nothing, so they could put no scarves, nothing out. And then obviously that performance as well, where we've absolutely murdered you as well, topped it off even more. But it was just that night, I think, because of what had happened, and we always had a friend that used to come around and watch all the Tottenham games that were on TV as well. So again, that made it that little bit extra special, and stuff like that. So, and always singing in the house as well with the chants that were going on at the games as well. So yeah, that one. Non-club wise, this is going to be tough. This is going to be very tough.
There's so many great games, and then non-club wise.
Yeah, I think the Aguero moment still gives me goosebumps. Now, it still gives. It's not even anything to do with Tottenham or anything. It just gives me goosebumps every single time that I watch it. So I think that is up there. Messi scoring 4 against you lot's definitely up there, because that was a great game. The Champions League final, Liverpool AC Milan. Yeah. Again is up there, because I was rooting for AC Milan and cheering when they were scoring, and obviously when they went 3-0 up.
You thought it was dead and buried. Everyone thought it was dead and buried.
Yeah, so obviously we all know what happened with that particular comeback and everything like that. So those particular ones are standing out.
There's one game that I would say that stands out, but isn't a fond memory for most England fans, is the Germany 4-1 in South Africa. Yeah, or even the 5-1 in Munich. Well, that one was stand out for England fans in a good way, but I mean, Germany just ripping us apart. Yeah. You watch it back now and you go, you can understand why. They were just so good. Yeah. Yeah. But we all know when Lampard scores, so I mean, if it gets given, it's a completely different dynamic in terms of the way the game goes. But yeah, I think that 5-1 in In Munich. Heskey
well.
giving it a little golf swing over.
Yeah.
Mate, beautiful.
First tournament, England.
First England tournament that I can remember.
Yeah.
The first one that I can remember, like I remember sitting and watching every game, was Germany 06.
Okay.
Because before that, like, even to this day, like I would watch an Arsenal game over an England game. I think it's just purely because that's how I was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad watched us win the World Cup. So then from there to see how rubbish we've become in the nicest possible way, he's sort of just gone, I can't be asked for the international side. So I remember like there'd be like international games. I'm like, Dad, can we watch it? No. Oh, that's sweet. So yeah, probably 06. Because I remember getting quite, because that summer hurt. That summer hurt me. We left Highbury, we lost the Champions League final. Like, you can say this is where my life started going downhill this year. That summer killed me off. Yeah, so we had Arsenal lose Champions League final and leave Highbury, like, in May, in the space of 10 days of each other. Then I had one of my other footballing icons, Bex. I think he's every English person's footballing icon, even though he was basically could whip a crossing and take a decent set piece. That's what he was known for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like you look back at him now, you go, yeah, it's a decent winger, not too quick. Can whip a ball in. Sorted. City winger. Ironically, I remember like writing to him, and remember when he opened his academy up.
Yeah.
My letters was actually in there, like after the World Cup. Along with so many others after he gave away the armband. But I remember that game against Portugal. That hurt. But yeah, I'm getting quite emotional now. Yeah, 2006 World Cup. Yeah.
For me, it was the 2002 World Cup, Japan, South Korea.
Yeah, but
that
you're
one.
about 30, so it's alright.
Definitely not. That was the first one that I remember, and just trying to take it all in. And everything like that was, and being at school, being very young, but being at school, and remember the big TV getting wheeled out. Yeah, just because lessons stopped, so we could watch England, and I'm like, oh my god, this is
beautiful.
Brilliant. Like,
I can be here every day.
Yeah, and everything like that, and I was playing, I was kicking the ball about anyway at the time, and.
Yeah.
Playing football, so it was just like, I was just so infused by everything at that time, and that's the first one that I really remember, and I was just gripped by everything. Like I say, I think the fact that we got to miss lessons to watch games, probably helped.
At my schools, because I went to obviously different schools to you, like the 2002 World Cup, I was.
In nappies.
Yeah. I'm 97, so what, 5 then?
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't in school.
Yeah.
For everyone saying, like, oh, I didn't watch football till 2006. So, yeah, I don't remember that one. I remember I have slight memories of the Euros in 04, but, yet again, that was up until England went out. 06 was the first one I watched all the way through, and, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got some decent memories of 04. Even sometimes you go around your mate's house and we'd all sit down and watch it and everything like that. So that was quite good. Yeah. Although one tournament that I was well and truly hooked on was Euro 2008.
The one we didn't go to.
The one that England didn't qualify for. Yes, I think because it was the first one that I'd known that England weren't there, and then my dad telling me it was the first sort of tournament we hadn't qualified for since '94. Obviously, I wasn't born in '94, so I think that was the first one. I was like, right, well, England aren't there, so I haven't got any emotional attachment. I can't get let down by anybody.
I remember watching Spain just tear it up.
Let's just roll with it, and everything like that. And I was Spurs had just signed Modric at the time, so I was a bit conscious to see what he was like. But yeah, I had the Match magazine thing, the wall chart, the moving all the teams about, coming in and like writing down the scores and everything like that. So,
see, for me, I remember that Euros purely over Cesc Fabregas. Just that was sort of like he was burst into the scene at that point for Arsenal, but like he was getting to a sort of superstardom that I couldn't remember, like from a midfielder anyway. Like obviously Henry was massive, but then there was Cesc, and it was like, this guy should not be playing for our club. What? He was a magician. Yeah, that Euros was good. Also, no pressure on us because we weren't there.
And I think that's probably why I enjoyed watching every single game, because you're just a neutral and you're just there going, I'm just watching football, and it was just brilliant. It was brilliant. That's a tournament that'll always, like I say, stick out with me, because I just sort of come. My mum would always make sure I'd done my homework. Like, you done your homework? I'm like, yeah, mum, yeah. And then I just got up and just watch the games, and it was just, that was one that really sort of sticks out for me. Like I say, Euro 2008, the one that England didn't qualify for.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the World Cup 2018
was an England high point.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't play beautiful football.
Yeah, it was. That was an interesting one, but I think the last sort of few tournaments, like Euros wise and World Cups, have been difficult to keep on top of because of work. So it's.
And also England being so poor.
Yeah, well then sometimes we'd get to a certain point, you go, oh, here we go, and then all of a sudden it would.
I remember the 2010 World Cup where it was just. I still to this day say that Waka Waka song is the best World Cup song ever.
Waving Flag, gotta be.
Ooh, it's up there.
Gotta be Waving Flag.
Ooh, it's close. It's tight. It's tight. It's tight. You never know.
You're just saying that because of who sung Waka Waka, Shakira. That's probably what it is.
No. But like, the whole like, oh my god, Fabio Capello's going to take us to win the World Cup. That went well. Because I remember like you, like, I went to a bit of a posh private school at that point, like.
I definitely did. I never went to any posh school.
I did.
And I definitely didn't go to a private school either.
I did. And like, some of my mates had to make out of me for it now because I definitely don't look or sound like I went to a posh school.
I can agree with that.
But I remember like sitting there and like, you'd be like mid-English and I'm like, okay, it's England, Germany, and I'm there going, this is not going to end well, but okay. Like already knowing because of how the group stage went. I remember like Rooney kicking off, like Rio thinking he's still got Vidic next to him because he was appalling when he didn't. Yeah, that World Cup was hard. Euros 2012 was alright.
I don't think England had much expectation from 2012 onwards. I don't think we've had much in terms of expectation.
But we had a reason for because we were awful at 2010.
Yeah.
2012 was okay. 2014, awful.
Yeah.
2016, we were lucky to beat the Welsh. And all of a sudden 2018 comes around and we're there like, it's coming home, boys!
Yeah, so that tournament, like I say, the 2002 World Cup, Beckham with his hair and everything like that and whatnot, and yeah, I think because I was so like just being a sponge with football, it just everything just clicked, and I remember loads of kids trying to have the Beckham hairstyle and everything like that, and then that's always one that will stick out.
Yeah.
Always one that will stick out for me. Anything else that you want to add?
Who was? It's probably pretty obvious for me, because there's only one person. Who is a manager that has managed your club that you love the most?
Difficult. Very, very difficult.
Not was it?
No, not Jose, not yet. Pochettino, because he made me fall in love with Tottenham again, and he made it bearable to watch Tottenham again. We started, I think as a fan for most anyway, in and around my age, it was the first time you're going like, I'm watching Tottenham today and I'm not watching Man United, I'm not watching Chelsea, I'm not watching Arsenal, I'm not going there to watch the opposition, I'm going there to see my team, because I think we've always had decent players, but sometimes the football's been horrendous, like the football under Sherwood, awful, football under AVB, horrendous,
There is one name I'm surprised you didn't say.
Harry's up there. Harry
It
Redknapp
wasn't
is up
even
there.
Harry, mate. He's your most successful manager in the last, this century. It's Juan de Ramos.
Well, that started off alright. I have to admit, started off alright. Played some really good attacking, exciting football. Obviously beating you lot 5-1, and then beating Chelsea at Wembley. For a Spurs fan, I don't think beating those two teams, I don't think it gets much better really. But like I said, we played some good stuff, and then obviously when he got his feet under the table, it all went apart really. But no, Harry come in, and that was again played some really good, exciting, attacking football, and whatnot. Martin Yole, have to mention our Uncle Martin, because he started to build a very young, exciting team, and we as fans all got, and we just got into Europe for the first time in a very long time, and as fans were going, oh, this is a bit different. We quite like this. So
exotic.
yeah. So it was all, I think older Spurs fans will remember the European times, where the old winning UEFA Cups and being in Europe more consistently, but for sort of younger people sort of in and around my age, I'd say, or from maybe our 90s babies and stuff like that, it's not something we were used to. So it's like, oh, we're playing Europe, this is brilliant. So now Europe's an expectation for Tottenham.
I see you walk into a foreign bar and start trying to speak Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah. So Martin Yole, Harry Redknapp, and the gaffer Pochettino. So I have to have three because I can't split those three. It's never going to be George Graham. Never going to be George Graham. It's never going to be AVB, Sherwood. Probably not Juan de Ramos. It was never going to be a never, but it's probably not Juan de Ramos. But we've had quite a few managers, but those three really stand out. Really stand out. What about you?
Really? Really?
I think Unai Emery, you're doing him a disservice.
No. We're not going down that route again.
Oh.
I think I'm very similar to someone I think you follow on Instagram as well, Hugh Wizzy. He has in his bio, Arsene Wenger's my real dad. Arsene Wenger, I love him. He'll never be the same. Don't try and tempt me with anything else.
Arteta? No.
Not yet.
Not you sure? Not Emery? No. After your 17-minute rant a few weeks back.
Well, the fact that he come out and turned around and went, the club isn't doing better without me. We're unbeaten this decade.
And I've won once as well.
Yeah, shut up.
But yeah, so I don't think there was any, because you really only had one manager, so it's a bit difficult for you. Whereas with Spurs we've had quite a few, so it's been difficult. But I can't, like I say, I can't split Martin Yole, Harry Redknapp, and Pochettino, and I think majority of Spurs fans in and around my age especially would probably say the same. Although I know one that will say Juan de Ramos because he won a trophy. Not the fact that he left us. No. Not the fact that he left us in an absolute perilous position.
19th when he left.
We had 2 points after 8 games. We were bottom of the league.
Sorry.
Harry Redknapp comes in and goes, he's had more points on his driving licence than what Spurs have had. And you're going, brilliant, great start. But I know one particular Spurs fan that will mention Juan de Ramos because he won a trophy.
I've got one more question that is going to split a lot of people. So obviously we watch a lot of football, whether it's on telly or at the game. Favourite pundit across all networks. We'll go all networks.
Wow, what a question.
I do know you love Graham Souness.
I love Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Love
his insight.
Roy Keane. No, he just.
What do you mean?
he's just saying it as it is pretty. But then we'll back it up, and you're just going, oh my god, he's just coming at it from a completely different angle, but you just can't disagree with it as well.
It's always what do you mean? He doesn't foul him, he's jumping.
Yeah, so Roy Keane, Gary Neville as well, because I think Gary Neville provides fans with an insight into the game that no other pundit can do, and the way he articulates his point is fantastic. Glenn Hoddle, I think Glenn Hoddle's a better pundit than a co-commentator, because I think he goes too in depth for a co-commentator, but as a pundit, I think he's fantastic, because again, his insight and his knowledge is just second to none. So probably though, I think Roy Keane just for box office value, and the other two for insight that they give and that they provide for fans that watch. But like I said, I think Hoddle's more of a pundit. I would say Hoddle's more of a pundit than a co-commentator.
He's pushing it as a pundit, isn't he, really?
Yeah, I don't mind Chris Sutton. Chris Sutton's quite funny.
Yeah.
As well.
It is hard. I like Shearer. I do like Wrighty on Match of the Day.
I should have said. The only thing with Wright is he played for you lot, but he's just a fan.
Yeah, he
Right,
just says what he wants to say.
You just go in. You are literally a fan, Ian Wright.
He's like. Did you see that Instagram thing he was doing with Maya Jama? He was there literally that she was fanboying Ian Wright and Ian Wright was fanboying being at an event.
Yeah. It
was beautiful. So Wright and Shearer up there for obviously their insight and what they've done. Obviously, Gary Neville's obviously up there. Just brilliant. Just like, it's not a great manager. Can't speak great Spanish apparently. Very very good. Couple that I don't like. Redknapp. Don't think Jamie's absolute dross.
He's awful.
Luther Vandross.
He is absolutely Luther Vandross, mate. But the thing is, I think he's gradually got worse.
He has. I don't know. It's like a lot of people say I like Carragher. I don't like Carragher either. I like him arguing with Gary, but that's it.
And Roy Keane.
Yeah.
See, I think whilst Redknapp's gone that way,
Jamie's
down,
sort of gone
and
that
way. He's going almost the opposite. I think he's getting
Yeah,
better, but he's still
got
not on.
better, and then he just went like that.
Yeah.
Flatline.
Yeah.
I don't like Souness.
But he picks on Paul Pogba.
It's like I said to you earlier. It's like, yeah, but Paul Pogba might let you down, but I never will.
But yeah, I think, I don't mind Souness, but I think it's quite hard for a Spurs fan to like many pundits, because a lot of pundits are very critical of Tottenham all the time. Like,
yeah, but there is reasons at times.
They're genuine, but half the time there genuinely isn't, and they're just we get hammered by a lot of pundits, especially on Sky.
I just said there was one that I absolutely despise that Sky have. And it's Jamie O'Hara. Right. First of all, tin pot player. Right. Tin pot. Thinks he's a big man. Right. Because he's bald and got a tattoo on his neck. Sits there, gives it an absolute big un and gets owned by troops on Sky around the North London derby. Right. You can't have played for a club, then commentate on games and pretend to be a pundit and get owned by a guy that says blood after every sentence.
It's alright, because we got our own back, because Expressions sat Jermaine Pennant back in his place.
Yeah, but Jermaine Pennant doesn't have anything to do with Arsenal.
He does, because he was Britain's most expensive teenager at one point, and you made him it.
Yeah, but that's because we didn't want him. he's literally like that. Oh, I'm not gonna say it 'cause it sounds really horrible. But he's like that one, like, you know, at Christmas when you get sat down by all, and like you're a kid and you open all the toys and Nan gets you some like sweet. We'll go sweet corn, like, because there's that video of the kid going an avocado bag. Like Jermaine Pennant was sweet corn because we had like absolute beautiful things with Henri, Bergkamp, Lundberg, Pires, and Pennant scored a hat-trick against Southampton. Was like, yeah, best boy around here and all. Get in the bin. Like Jermaine Pennant, and plus I like Expressions, he's funny.
Yeah.
Like seems to be a top lad, like funny as. But Jamie O'Hara does like absolute Sweden. Cannot say so tin pot footballer, tin pot pundit, tin pot human. Hate him. He's up there with people I hate, like Emery.
I think there's two that I genuinely go, apart from Jamie Redknapp, that I go, how are you even a pundit? Is Danny Higginbottom.
Yeah.
And Danny Mills. Danny Higginbottom.
the two that
is
Sky get on to do tactical analysis.
Yeah, and have never coached.
Never coached a day in their lives.
Yeah, them two do my nuts.
Danny Higginbottom's style of football was get it, pump it. Danny Mills was lose the ball, kick 'em.
Like Danny Mills coming out with the Euro under-21s and saying that a lot of these lads need to go and get some game time. They need to go out on loan and get games. If you looked at the under-21 side, a lot of them were playing first and foremost, but a lot of them were playing in the Premier League, which was a rarity for the first time in an under-21s tournament. And I think there's only a couple that were on loan in the Championship or playing in the Championship.
And then you had players like Reece Nelson, who was out on loan in Germany.
Yeah.
You had and you look at most of them this season, Reece in around the first team, Joe Willock in around the first team, Tammy's starting for Chelsea, Mason Mount starting for Chelsea.
Henderson on loan at Sheffield United in the Premier League and could be England's number one. Alright, Lloyd Kelly's had a lot of different injuries, but was playing last season at Bristol City, so that's probably the only anomaly.
And you still look at it now, even younger players like a Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Almost starting every game at United.
Yeah, but it was like Wan-Bissaka was playing in that under-21 championships, and on all of these,
starting from Alice.
Foden was there, Tom Davies, players like, and you're going, what are you?
Are you actually okay?
But yeah, Danny Higginbottom does my nuts in as well because tactical analysis, never coached a day in his life, so.
And got coached by Tony Pulis.
Nothing wrong with big time. Nothing wrong with Pulis.
Yeah, but his style of football was get it, pump it long. If we lose it, kick him.
But yeah, those two in particular do my head in. Do my head in for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's Jamie O'Hara for me.
Well, it's just because he's Spurs, really.
No, it's just because he thinks he seems to think he's on the level of like a Neville, doesn't he? Like he walked in the other day he didn't walk in, he was sitting there in a blinking tartan suit, right? With this, I'm covered in tattoos, but these tattoos on his neck are horrid, right? And he's bold. He wants to be that proper East End taxi driver. Come on, bro. You see, go to Weekend Sun. It's amazing. He tries to be that, but on Sky, it's so jarring. I can't even remember the other guy's name that does my nutting, but I'll probably find it and send you him later. Just me shouting at him. Yeah, absolute abysmal footballer, absolute abysmal pundit, and his dress sense. I've seen you come out wearing smarter garments, okay?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with my clobber. There's nothing wrong with it.
I've seen your Instagram. It's questionable.
Brilliant. Cheers. Right then, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. I know that we certainly did, going through some of our football firsts and our football loves. Make sure you like us not only on YouTube, but on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Follow us on Spotify as well if you can. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well.